to my kitchen. Today we're gonna make some citrus candy that I'm gonna put in some gift bags. This is a pretty easy recipe and it's super yummy. However, there's a lot of steps to it. And if you do not own a dehydrator, this will take you a little bit longer. So there's not really any measurements on this except for your simple syrup. So you're just gonna use as many citrus fruit as you want. Wash them really well, slice them kind of thin. And you can use lemons, oranges, limes, grapefruit, whatever you want. It's personal preference. But once you get all of your fruit sliced up like this, pretty thin, just a note, if you do lemons, pick the seeds out. If you don't, if you have oranges that have seeds in them, make sure you pick them out. That's going to be a textural nightmare if you don't. So once you get all of your fruit washed and sliced, we're going to move on to the next step. Once you get all of your citrus fruit, whatever you decide to use, all sliced up, we're going to boil it for about 2 minutes, kind of stirring gently. And this is going to help remove the bitterness from the skin, kind of like our last video. We don't want to let this go for a really long time, just until you see it get kind of transparent and the rind of the citrus fruit starts to soften up a little bit. Okay, it's been boiling for a couple of minutes now. Kind of the fruit is starting to get, transparent. You can see through it. If you hold it to the light, you can see right through it. And all this foamy stuff has come out of the citrus. So I'm going to go ahead and drain it, wash my pan, and then we'll move on to the syrup. Okay, I've drained that yucky foamy water off the citrus. Now I'm starting with a nice dry pan. I'm going to add 2 cups of water and 4 cups of sugar. This syrup ratio is 2 to 1. So if you're just making a single batch, it would be like 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup of water. And while this is a lot of syrup, I'm not going to waste it. Whatever's left over after I'm done, I'm going to pour in a jar. And I'm going to put it in the refrigerator so my husband can use it to make mixed drinks. Do not waste it. It's going to be delicious. So we're going to let this go until all the sugar dissolves. And then we're just going to add our citrus back. Probably a little at a time because this pan is not deep, it's really wide. If you have a deeper pan, a deeper, smaller pan, use that. But I'll just do about half at a time. And what we're gonna do is simmer it for about 30 minutes in this syrup. And we're gonna lay it out. I have a couple of draining racks over here that I've lined with paper towels. So we'll set each piece out on that rack and just kind of let them drip dry a little bit. So as soon as this is up to temperature and ready to go, I'll show you how to do this. So now that my syrup is simmering, I'm gonna go ahead and start adding some of the citrus fruit to this pan. And you're basically just gonna let this go until they're coated really nicely and until you can see through them. And then you're gonna remove them to the drying racks. I'm gonna turn my heat down just a little bit. Do not want this sugar to burn. I think I should be able to get this in like about 2 batches. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this go. And I'll be back in a little while, about half an hour, 20, 30 minutes maybe. Show you what they look like when they come out and they're going to the drying rack. Okay, this first batch went for 30 minutes in the syrup. And as you can see, they're very see-through. The lemons were pretty small, so I did take them out a little early. So that's just kind of the importance of keeping an eye on what you're doing in here, because it could go faster than you think it does. So the second batch is in, and as soon as that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and get my dehydrator loaded up. Okay, I've got my oranges and my lemons loaded into the dehydrator. I'm gonna set it for 95 degrees. I'm gonna let it go 2 or 3 hours, check on them. They'll still be sticky, but they need to be kind of crystallized and dried out. If I need to let it go longer, I will. If you do not have a dehydrator, just leave them on your cooling racks. Let them go for about 12 hours, like overnight, sometime the next day, check on them. And they should dry just fine sitting out. So I'll see you back tomorrow when we're gonna finish this up. I also had this much syrup left over, and you can see all of that orange and lemon flavor infused into that syrup. So that's gonna make my husband some really nice mixed drinks. So I'm just gonna let this cool off and stick it in the fridge. All right, friends, so it's the next day, and my orange slices and my lemon slices got, a couple hours, maybe a few hours in the dehydrator, and they are beautiful. They're very sticky though. Even though they're like dried out and candied, they're still very sticky. So to kind of ease that, all I'm gonna do is just toss the slices in some just white sugar. Makes them a little easier to handle. And that kind of makes them look prettier too, I think. And I'm just gonna put them on a rack. And then over here on the stove, I have my small saucepan. I'll show you here in just a second. I don't own a double boiler, but you don't really need one, honestly. If you have a small saucepan and a glass bowl, or a metal mixing bowl, you can make your own double boiler, and it works just fine. Because what I'm gonna do is, some of these I'm going to dip in dark chocolate and white chocolate, and then I'm gonna sprinkle it with some flaky sea salt. So I'm gonna go ahead and move through all of these like this while my pan heats up with my double boiler, and I'll show you how I dip them when I'm done with this part. All right, I got all of the lemons and all of the oranges dipped in sugar, and I'm not gonna chocolate dip the lemons because I think they're pretty, and I think that they'll taste good with just the sugar on them. But I am gonna do the oranges. So now that my water is hot, it's just about to come to a simmer, I'm gonna put my bowl on it. I'm gonna start with the dark chocolate. And you can use chocolate chips, you can use melting wafers, which is pretty much what I have. And if I don't use all of this, I'm gonna make some Ritz peanut butter crackers later. They're chocolate dipped for the gift baskets too. I think those will be yummy. So basically I'm just gonna let this go, and I'm gonna whisk it every now and then to make sure that it doesn't stick or clump. And once it's nice and smooth, then we're gonna start dipping our oranges. I'm just gonna do one side of them, and then I'm gonna put them onto parchment, and then while they're still wet, I'm gonna put a little bit of this flaky sea salt on them. And this stuff is beautiful, you guys. If you can, if you're able, splurge for the nice stuff. So I'll be back whenever my dark chocolate is melted. It's only been just about 2 minutes, and already that chocolate is just about ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn my heat down to low. I only want enough heat to just keep the chocolate liquid and not scorch it. That's why you use a double boiler. And I think we're just about there. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and start dipping my oranges. And I just have a little small pair of tongs. I think that'll be easiest. And then lay them on the parchment. And while the chocolate is still melted, a little bit of flaky sea salt on top. And I'm just gonna repeat that process. It's really simple. Time consuming, but simple. And I think that this is gonna make a really neat Christmas gift. So I'm gonna do about half of these with the dark chocolate, and then I'm gonna do the other half in the white chocolate. And I have another bowl over there to the side for the white chocolate. So I'm just gonna keep plugging away at this, guys, and I will be back when I'm ready to swap chocolate. All right, I did about half of the oranges in the dark chocolate and sea salt. And you see I just have the white chocolate now in another bowl, using it as a double boiler. So I'm gonna let this get melted down, and we're gonna dip the other half of these oranges just like we did the first half. Okay, so we're just gonna repeat this process like we did with the dark chocolate with the white chocolate. And, you know, if you really wanted to make this extra holiday, you could sprinkle some crushed up Starlight peppermints on it, or candy canes. I did not get candy canes or peppermints. I didn't even think about it till a few minutes ago. But I'm not gonna put salt on the white chocolate ones. The sea salt, I'm just gonna dip them in the white chocolate and leave them like they are. So, yeah. I'll get these done and let them get cooled, and then I'll show you what they all look like after they've set up. All right, y'all. So this is what the white chocolate ones look like. I felt like they were a little plain, so I went ahead and splattered some of the dark chocolate on them. And this is what the dark chocolate ones look like. They're not quite set up completely, but they will after you let them sit for a few minutes. Make sure you use parchment or you will not be able to get them unstuck. So, if you're still here, I just want to say thanks for watching. I know this video was kind of all over the place, but I've been feeling a little under the weather, so I'm doing the best I can. If you give these a try, please leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought of them. Did you keep them for yourself, or did you give them away as a gift? And as always, you guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you next week.